KCC311, week number 5. Big week. A lot of different things going on, but the very last assignment for week 5 is creating a graphic. Now, the two parts about the graphic you want to know is how to get to Google Drawings. It's something I'm recommending to create a graphic. If you have other options, that's fine as well. I'll show you how to get to Google Drawings, and also I want to make sure we understand the 5 parts of what I'm looking for in a complete graphic for this assignment. You need to make sure I'm clear about the question. You need to make sure that there's a map so I know what region you're talking about. I need to see a graph that compares that quantitative data, a description of the data, and a conclusion from the data. Lots of stuff. Let's break it down bit by bit. First thing I was talking about getting to Google Drawings, which is, I'm going to say, my recommended way to create a graphic. So if you're at your Kindle email, you got this little tic-tac-toe right up here. Oh, look at that, Google Drive. Google Drive has all these apps, different ways, web apps, so that you can create Google Docs, slideshows, spreadsheets, all that stuff. But if you go to more, Google Drawings right here. Now, how come I like Google Drawings? It is a nice, simple way that I can create a layout on a page with different things, like the question, like the graphs, like the data, maps, all the good things. And how can I do it? If you just click T right here, that's a text box, and I can put it up here. I can make, okay, my question, I want to make that real big. So I go up here and make the font really big, and I say, question, what are there more McDonald's in the southern U.S.? My fingers aren't quite working the same way my brain is thinking, but you understand the idea. Right up front, nice and clear, I'm asking a question here. Now, I'm talking about southern U.S. In the last video, I was using the southern U.S. to compare McDonald's to population and that sort of thing. You're going to do it, maybe you'll phrase the question a little differently. Maybe you're going to use a different region, but you get the idea. If you click this T, you can create a text box, and you can really hit me over the head with that question, because that's important. Make sure I know what you're getting at. If you just lead with the graph, I might be a little confused. What else is good about this Google Drawings? What else can I add? Well, look at this. I can add little pictures right here. So this is convenient that I can upload pictures like, say, maps. Now, Google My Maps is nice for those maps that you can scroll around and click on. However, a static map, an image of a map, we talked about this website before, the map chart. So that link is in Blackboard, but on map chart, if I'm talking about the southern U.S., this is nice. I can go up here and I can say, okay, let me see, I'm going to make all the southern states this bright blue. So I click all these southern states and make them bright blue, if that's the region I'm talking about right here. If that's the region I'm talking about, I don't need colors for the other parts because I'm focusing on the southern U.S. Look at my question right here. Southern U.S. So look at my map. It's got the southern U.S. highlighted. And then I can go down here and I can convert to image. I can download this image. So once you have that, then you'll be able to download that. And then here, if you click that little image, then I can upload it to my Google, to my drawing. And you'll see here's an example I did before. A question, and then I can upload a map. And here I'm using the Midwest. I'm all over the place. What else can you upload? You can upload graphs. So if you looked at the last video I was talking about, okay, the population and the McDonald's percentages in the southern U.S. And then you can create this little graph right here. So if I highlight that graph, you can right-click it and hit copy. Now that graph is copied, and so if I head back to this this graphic, you can Control V, and it just pastes right here. If you try to right-click and paste, you'll see it. It says no, you got to use Control V. All right, so you use the keyboard command, and it's got this little graph right here. So look at, I've got a question, I've got a graph that goes a long way to answering the question, but what's the problem with just leaving it like that? No, you don't want to just say, here, look at the graph. You got it solved. You need to help highlight things. And I'm going to zoom out so I can see things a little better. Okay, so I click here and look at this little corner shape that lets me resize it. So if I need a little more room here, you can see it's much different than, say, Microsoft Word, which says, hey, here's your page of paper. Here I can resize things. I got a question. I got a graph. I showed you how to make a map using this map chart. You can upload that. All right, so this is getting a long ways to what I'm looking for. Question, a map. I have a graph. What else am I looking for? I am looking for, I am looking for a brief description of the data. Okay, so if I need a description of the data, then what I need to do is go back to another text box here, and I can highlight under here. My data is showing ... Don't just leave the graph for me here. I know what the graph means. You do, because we've done this assignment for 2 weeks now. But you want to describe it. Maybe somebody else is looking at this and say, what are you talking about? Oh, you're looking at the McDonald's in the U.S. You're looking at the population of the U.S. So you're going to give a little description. And you know what? Another good part of that description is a source. You could say that, hey, the population came from census.gov. I believe the source was in the course documents, and then the McDonald's data I provided for you. So you can you can get away without the source on that one. But question the map. Like I said, you'll upload the map on your own. You have a graph which you can copy over. Look out. Well, what happened to my graph? There it is. Okay. You have a graph you can copy over from your spreadsheet, and then you have a description that you'll type in some things here. And then at the bottom, the very last part that I was emphasizing is I need to see a clear conclusion. What are you trying to talk about here? What are you trying to draw from this? I'm saying there's more McDonald's than there's population in the southern U.S. Okay, I can do that with another text box. So right here, I highlight another text box. So conclusion. Wait a minute. Conclusions, these are kind of important. So I don't want this conclusion at the bottom in this little text right here. So let me go up here and, let's get a little bigger here. Let's live large on this one. So I'm going to highlight here, go down to 30 font. That's a nice big. I conclude that, ... And you're waiting for me to say something? I'm not going to. That's your job. I'll leave the ... You'll fill in the blanks here. You conclude, hey, there's too many McDonald's. There's not enough population. There's too many population. It's equal. It's good enough. You're going to do that for me. But if you put that together, this Google drawing, and of course you can just move things around, so it's a little more flexible than, say, Microsoft Word. You can add your own touches to that. You have a question. You're going to have a map. I don't have it here. You're going to have a graph. You're going to have a description of your data. Include those sources, and you're going to have a clear conclusion. And I give this, this is available for you so you can see my version: question, map, chart, description, and a conclusion. And yeah, I put in some little fun little pictures. Guess what? You can do that as well. Go up here, click this, and then you can search for some fun pictures if you want to add some style, as it were. And you're going to have a graphic. Last part, file. Download as. Now you can download that, upload it to Blackboard. You're done with week 5 assignment. That's a lot. That is a ton of work for week number 5. I understand I'm kind of cresting here with a lot of work to go. If you do have questions cutting through all of it, percentages, maps, charts, graphics, please reach out with an email and we'll try and settle things up.